The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome, everybody, to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and always squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we got down, oh boy, I better check to make sure I don't give you the wrong number. We got down to 2612.67 on the S&P cash. We're back to flat on the day. And again, we had options roll over really yesterday, on Monday and Tuesday. And man, did these guys pump out the puts this morning. So I'm assuming that options rollover is pretty much done. And as always, they get everybody all hot and bothered and in a lather and all the hand wringing. Oh, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. Stock market's going down. Generally, when I hear everybody saying that, my instant response is to get real greedy when everybody's afraid, and be very afraid when everybody's very greedy. So the only thing is that I don't think it does you any good as a trader to always sit on kind of a manic depressive sleigh ride where it just doesn't do you any good, I don't think. I've been thinking of something Jesse Livermore said, and I've been posting it in the den the last few days, and that is there's no bull side or bear side to the market, just the right side. And maybe you just can't have a bias right now. I think we're in a bigger trading range. I'll talk about that today, but I don't think it gets to the matter of it. I always love when people get in discussions with me about gun control, about Archie Bunker, because they tried to make Archie Bunker a good guy, but a little gruff. But for some, this had to be like 1973. So he's talking to his daughter about gun control, and she says, "Well, this guy got shot." Archie Bunker goes, "Well, would you felt better if they pushed him out of a window in a tall building?" So the question is, are you mad because he got shot or someone got killed? And at that point, you start figuring out, is there a bias? Same way in the stock market. I can understand it's just an illusion to the fact that none of us are bias free. Although I imagine if we were very good traders, we would be. Probably the best trader in the world would be biasless, would he not? So anyway, I just don't feel like I can carry a bias into the market. Options continue to show that the market's just going to go right back up to about 2,700, maybe 2,720 for expiration again in May. Now, I'll look at that tonight and see if that changed at all. But my guess is, if anything, it went up because I was watching them dump as many puts out to people as they could this morning. Now, of course, we get into a couple of days, we get into fund buying. And the question is, are you going to be happier if if the market goes higher or lower? And I guess my question would be, is it okay to just be happy if you're on the right side of the market, not if it goes to a particular direction, and that you pick that particular direction? I'm just maybe it's people on TV or other people I've bumped into in the last few days, but it seems like there's just a ton of hand wringing. And I kind of put that in the newsletter this morning, and was kind of interested to see Steve Rhodes kind of going down the same vein of that, which is, you just can't get too excited. The stock market goes up, it goes down. And if you're too invested in one way, you just can't hear what the market's telling you. You are so wrapped up in, either pro or against a subject. Probably a good explanation, isn't it? Probably almost impossible if you've got a political bend to change your opinion. And maybe that's a good reason. Maybe you feel that way because of the way you were raised or you've actually thought about the issue. But in the stock market, all you're going to do is, if you're wrong, or you're going to go broke. You're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to do anything else. So maybe it's time to be agnostic and just happy with whichever way the wind blows. I was just kind of feeling that this morning. Way too many people saying the end is nigh. In fact, that's on the front page of my newsletter today. A bunch of these guys from like the 30s standing around saying that the end is nigh. Repent today. That sells, but it doesn't make any money in the stock market. And, I looked at yesterday at the numbers and I'm thinking, okay, we had a huge move in the market. Probably should have had something like 9 or 10 billion shares to blow out the bottom. We ended up with 7.3 billion shares. I think we had 6.5 billion shares the day before in all the markets. So it did go up, but did it really, did it blow anything out? The answer is no. Does that mean that the market can't go lower? Again, I can't afford some kind of opinion that I can't back out of. I suspect, and I am speculating, that the market does go higher, certainly through fund buying. If the volume all disintegrates between now and, let's say, the middle of next week, I'll change my opinion. But I was out buying stocks this morning, thinking that we're probably going to be doing okay. So we'll see how that goes. You win some and you lose some, but man, the worst thing you can do, I guess, is stuck on an opinion that does not work. So anyway, you can give me a call at 877-927, did I say that right? 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And of course, we'll probably play it again today. Enough with the negative waves. Let's just say the market's going higher or lower with a little bit less inflection. With a little less, I'm rooting for my team. And like I said, there's no bull side or bear side. There's just the right side, and we hoping to have that. Now, we got about a minute left. So I'm not going to do history out here. I'm just going to look back at here. We're off 3 points on the S&P cash. Dow's up 5. The Nasdaq's off 17. Again, Nasdaq's probably going to be kind of the weakest part of the market. But the question is, what is the bounce going to be if I'm right, i.e. that this market's kind of run out of juice here? We'll see, but I think it could be pretty good. I see a lot of shorts in this market. We're going to talk about a big mover today that had a lot of people short it yesterday, and I'm looking for that to do through fund buying. But I think you got kind of your back to the wall on a few of these stocks that have far too many shorts in this, and I think it's going to wash you out before it turns lower. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
As we watch the markets here, we'll talk our little history. Today in 1990, the crew of the U.S. Space Shuttle Discovery places the Hubble Space Telescope along with the long-term space-based observatory into low Earth orbit around Earth at about 400 miles above the surface of the Earth. Free of atmospheric distortions, Hubble is a resolution 10 times that of ground-based observatories. This may be other than, or probably since our trip to the moon, and certainly for outer space, we learned more in the first year that this thing actually worked, which is after they fixed it in 1994. We learned more in that 1 year than in the previous 400 years of looking at the stars. We found out that there is proof of black holes. We figured out that the universe, at least from what we can see, is somewhere around 13.83 billion years old. We saw the first planet circling a star 200 million light years away. Literally one of the biggest discoveries was the things that we didn't know, and that is that the entire universe is expanding at a faster rate each and every day. Not just expanding the same rate, actually expanding more than that. We found out that there is a thing called dark energy. And 3/4 of the entire of what makes up the universe is missing, and we can't find it. There's also dark matter that we don't know where it's at. And a lot of times these things just, they give you more questions than answers. But probably the biggest scientific discoveries since going to the moon all came from this. And certainly if we're talking about looking at stars and figuring out how they work and other galaxies, that was it. We launched a brand new satellite last week on SpaceX's rocket. It's going to do a lot more. We know that we've seen at least, I think it's just under 4,000 planets that we've identified already. This new satellite from last week is going to do nothing but look for new planets. And that's what it's designed for. So pretty soon we'll have all the planets that are fairly visible or easy to see, which will probably be 100,000 of them, I would imagine, in a year or two. We also have a brand new replacement for the Hubble, which is going to be out there, the James Webb Space Observatory. It's all infrared, so it can see through all the dust and debris in other galaxies. This thing's going to be monstrous in size compared to the Hubble. So the question is just how much more we're going to learn on that. But Hubble is set up. It's been refurbed. And unless something massively breaks, it will be up there taking pictures till 2024, when its last command will be to fire a retro engine and fall into the Pacific Ocean. But on this day in 1990, the biggest science discovery for the stars in 400 years was launched. Okay, what else do we have? Let's go ahead and start looking at some charts. I wanted to look at Boeing. Had a lot of people discussing this morning. I didn't understand the whole proposition where the wheels were going to fall off a wagon of a company that literally can't make its product fast enough. Even if all the planes that China has ordered, they canceled in the next 5 minutes, Boeing would still have only the capability to build planes for the next 5 years before it ran out of orders. And in the meantime, I suspect that they're going to get more. The Farnborough Air Show is going to have the latest in the Boeing fleet, which is a 797. A lot of rumors about what it is. Supposed to have a huge amount more of carbon fiber work on it. Carbon fiber, much stronger than aluminum, and it certainly doesn't corrode. The one problem it has is with sunlight, so you've got to paint the thing. But other than that, far superior to metal in that you don't get a single crack that kind of destroys it. Each layer of the fiberglass is pretty much laid at 45-degree angles to each other. So, and then of course that stuff is also woven. So you don't get a single crack or single point of failure. Generally what they do is when they make all this stuff, they save a little bit extra where they trim off the edges, and they save that to make sure that if the resin in that glass eventually is going to fade, they can go back and check that every once in a while, make sure that the chemical composition was mixed correctly. But you know what? It's probably, aluminum is probably on its way out for airplanes. 80% of the expense of an airline is fuel, and if you can make that just 78%, they're going to make about $5,000 more a day. So, you know, each time Boeing makes a better plane that is more fuel efficient, it goes to the cash registers of these folks that run the airlines. And so the thing that they're looking for is what is the cost per mile for everybody that goes on the plane. The less fuel, that's going to be 80% of it. The pilots, the rest of it, they're a pretty minor part of it. It's all about the gas prices. So anyway, Boeing's got this new plane coming out. I just don't understand trying to go after this one as a long-term short. Actually, I think we shorted this one and got a quick $30 off of it, off this test of, what was it, 361 on February 1st. Maybe that was the one I shorted. Can't really remember now. I shorted one of these up here just because it looked like this thing was going to crater. Certainly looks like this one's the one that I got, which is it got up to 371 and went back to 330. I think that's what we did, is cover it. Bounced a little bit and then went lower back down to 311. You know, if you're going to short these things, I just don't understand trying to short them on the idea that these things go to zero. Tesla's got 100 new cars that are going to be competing with it. If I was going to short something for the long term or be horribly bearish about a company, it would be one that has huge amounts of competition, not one that has less competition and actually has planes that are deal changers, as Boeing does. It just continues to execute and execute. Now, could this thing just go sideways for a while? It could. My thoughts, though, are that a lot of people were shorting it today, and a lot of people were shorting it yesterday. In fact, the shorts doubled up their shorts from the day before, from about 12% to almost 20% into earnings yesterday as it went down. My guess is anything above 344 starts seeing those shorts start to get squeezed. I'm pretty sure that this thing could easily see 360 in the next few days into fund buying just on those shorts exiting stage left.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And I got one eye on Boeing, which is creeping up to that 344. Once it hits the high at A, my guess is that the short stops are going to get hit. That's going to bring the Dow up. Probably bring the rest of the market up into the close. At least that's my working theory. As we all know, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. Anyway, question in the den about Square. You know, you had kind of a little gap out here, pretty decent volume to the downside yesterday, and now it kind of pierced the bottom of it. The big move on this was on March 5th, that it came up with 30.5 million shares on that day. Got tested with 14 million shares, basically testing it today with 13 million shares. Probably going to get about 15 million shares. Financials are probably just going to hang out here. I don't think that this is one of the better sectors. It certainly hasn't washed out yet. That being said, a lot of my sector oscillator charts are showing that some of the sectors are actually washing out, probably starting today. I would look at the SMHs as a good example. You got into this gap with 17 million shares on February 9th. 93.88 on the SMHs. What do you have today? 6.7 million shares. Energy did kind of pick up on that big gap down on the 19th, but not much out here today. So to me, this is kind of a big, maybe the big end of the washout on the semiconductors. They may not be instantly off the bottom, but a lot of times they're on the SMHs, they are so short that any kind of bounce can get at least a 2 or 3 day move back higher, and I suspect we're probably going to see some fun buying in these SMHs. If it does alight the candle, then you could have a nice bounce up to 104 on just an oversold and overshorted semiconductor market. Again, all this stuff not that bad. Apple itself hasn't really commented on lower sales numbers, but everybody's pretty much saying that that is what is true. Now, we did go below on Apple the April 2nd low, 164.47 with 42 million shares. Did so yesterday with this 33.6 million shares. A little lower this morning and then a bounce. But if this thing closes back up above 165, which it easily could today, Apple move a buck before the end of the day, that would be at least a temporary low in this 165 area. So, you know, you've had one I dislike is that you've had 2 gaps down on Apple, and that you could get the third, which would take you to 157. You've had basically a gap on the 19th. You had the gap on the 20th, and you know what? You got that gap right down there, 157, and that would be it. I'd much rather buy that gap for Apple, but it, you know what? It's not that much lower. So I'm going to try to stay out of the traditional suppliers around Apple, like Skyworks Solutions and Avago. Some of the others in that sector could do well, though. I think that they're horribly oversold. And just because they're not buying Apple doesn't mean they're not buying someone else's smartphone. You can give me a call at 877-927-6648. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. And by popular request, no more negative waves.
Don't you knock it off with them negative waves. Why don't you dig how beautiful it is out here? Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change?
Always with the negative waves, Moriarty. Always with the negative waves.
Well, we're up 13 points on Boeing, and I'm just thinking that this is the lightning rod today at 344, where we start seeing the shorts start to cover, and of course that's such a big part of the Dow that it actually gets it up. I wouldn't be surprised to see Boeing by the end of the day put $100 into the Dow higher by itself. If those shorts get to covering. We're basically flat on the S&P, the Dow, and the NAS. Well, we're down, what, 11 points on the NASDAQ. But, man, it's been a long time since I've seen people this sour on the future of semiconductors. And generally, when there's blood in the streets, it always attracts me because I want to be greedy when everybody is scared, and I want to be scared when everybody is greedy. But we'll take a look at some other stuff. Anyway, had some interesting stocks out here that, it's a market of stocks, not really a stock market. So you can always find a bull market somewhere. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do we have out here? I was looking at this. I actually talked to Steve Rhodes about this early in the show. Coty, which is a beauty company, had a nice gap up on November 9th with 23 million shares. Got tested with 6 million shares on February 6th. And guess what? We're down here again with 3 million shares. The only reason I really like this is, two reasons. Great support here at the prices that we're at. And off this February 20 high, the energy just was nothing. You never got a big sell-off. All you've done is come back. This thing may just be bouncing from the $16 mark into that $21 mark. But that's a pretty good range for a market that's been rather range-bound itself. So if you find a handful of these, they will be interesting. We got a question. Said you said I bought some stuff. Yep. What did I buy? I bought 3 things this morning and afternoon in the market. And yes, they are long. So let's take a look at some others. Not everything looks beautiful. There are some stocks out here that I would short if I am wrong. I'd take the opposite side of tomorrow. I always love that John Maynard Keynes quote. Yes, sir, when the facts change, I change my opinion. How about you, sir? I think he was arguing with somebody. And if the facts change, I'll be glad to change my opinion. And this may be one of those stocks. Gap down on June 15th of last year with 3.4 million shares. Tried to get into it with 1.9 million shares December 26th. Tried again on January 23rd with 2 million shares. We're back up here with 1.2 million shares 2 days ago. Yesterday, 1.2 million shares. Today, to 660,000 shares. So pretty light volume test at the top. The energy actually decreased from this March 13th, March 23rd low up into the high yesterday. So there are some stocks that looked rather suspiciously weak. That was one of the ones I was seeing out here. There's some others, a handful of others. I guess we're going to go to break now, but we'll be back. Make sure and give me a call. I'm looking.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks! Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
AJ says that, you know what? Oh, that's another email. Who's this? Oh, this is Sean. Sean says I should be a little bit more cheery myself.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life.
Who doesn't remember the end of the life of Brian?
Jolly rotten, there's something you forgot. And that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing.
Who would have ever thought
when you're feeling in the dumps
that you could do a song and dance number on crosses? But those guys were brilliant. But yeah, you just got to always look on the bright side of life. Got some questions about airlines, and basically you got about the same kind of volume in these $45, $46 lows. You spiked it down today. Question about whether or not you'd go long Boeing and then maybe short the airlines. I just don't think that there's enough downside in the airlines. If energy prices still go higher, as we said earlier, 80% of the price of a ticket is fuel. And if it goes higher, then that hurts airlines. If it goes lower, it helps airlines. And you can make a case that we're kind of very close to some highs in crude. You know, any kind of move down in crude, I'd probably jump into these. They don't look bad. But American Airlines has got the September 6, 2017 low at 42.61. And that is what would make me think that there's just not enough downside in the airlines here to go long short with Boeing. That would be it. So I think the Singing Crucifixes is a name for a band. Oh, that's got to be The Life of Brian. Man, those guys were talented. Anyway, you got that low down there. Let me look at a couple other ones here to make sure. But that's the problem, is I think you're probably fairly close to these things. I just love to see the price of crude start moving back down, and I think you're at the bottom of the range. Now, Delta Airlines is in a triangle, so you can't really do much in that one. Let's take a look at UAL. This isn't a triangle, too. You know what? The play here is to fade the breakout. 80% of the time, this thing's going to break to the wrong side. So if this thing breaks lower out of these triangles that these things have set up, I just play the opposite side of it. If they gap higher and out of that triangle, I'd short it. And if it went lower, I think that's the place to buy them. But yeah, three of these have that triangle pattern. So lower highs, higher lows, and you continue to do that. Most of these look like they're just about out of this market. So, I mean, out of the triangle. So they're going to pop one way or the other fairly quickly. And I've never done well trying to figure out which way that pop's going to come. But fading that pop, I've been very successful with. So I do like that. We've got AJ asking about COHR. Let's take a look at that. COHR. Take a quick look. Coherent, which has got a longer pattern out here. Unfortunately, it's breaking, I think, through this gap. Let me pull this thing up. You're breaking through this big gap up that goes back to February 8th of 2017. So let's go and zoom in here a little bit better on this. You know, the energy really kind of came off. That gap up has what in the way of volume here? 1.4 million shares. And you're back in it. But you need this thing to basically close. I'm going to say it needs to close somewhere around 162.50. Above that, and that's where I would bite. I'd much rather see this thing bounce a little and then try to put a stop back under probably the low of today, or maybe like 159 or something. But you got to see this thing kind of turn a little bit here first, and I would want it to come back and just get back into that gap. Breaking out the bottom of a gap is always a risky situation, but you know, once you don't have to give up much. 162.50, and that could get you to 220 on just a regular oversold bounce, and possibly 233. So there's some wood in this long term in Coherent. And of course, any of these optical companies have been pretty much hammered. Let me give you the actual thing on this one. Coherent provides lasers and laser-based technology in a range of scientific, commercial, and industrial applications worldwide. It operates through two segments: specialty lasers and systems. Of course, this is all for fiber optic cable and that kind of stuff. And not a bad business. But again, we talked about this as we did AAOI, and it's just feast or famine. And well, let's go ahead and draw that again. Feast or famine. Now this is back up to the resistance level right here in this 130, in this 32 area, and kind of the same thing. You're looking for some kind of sign. Now in this case, I just love the fact that I was watching the shorts every day pound this. So let's take a quick look and see if there's anything in Coherent for shorts that would make this thing the same thing as kind of a play on AAOI. Got a few of these things out here. COHR, right? A quick look. Okay. It's been shorted about 15% each day, which isn't the end of the world. But let's take a look here. Okay, it's got 3 days to cover. 8% of its float is short as of the last reporting period on the, I got to check that today, on the 29th of March, March. In fact, my guess is that we did do that. Okay, so you know what? It's got enough shorts in it. So let me dissect this just a little bit more. I just dislike the fact this thing kind of washed out, but that's actually a good sign. This leg off of 233 came down on less energy than that peak on January 17th, where it literally lost a third of its value in what, 20 trading days there? So you're back to the support level, volume's shrunk. It's certainly less than the gap up, but at the same time, you need this thing to close back into that range and have a very small window for your shorts. Anyway, you got plenty of time to still email me. We're going to look at Snap when we come back.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
We wanted to look at Snap, and a pretty nice move down today. Volume did pick up, and I think, you just got a few of these things. You got kind of the bounce today. You got your high volume low. You came down on fairly decent energy. You've had a bounce. I like this. I would just love to see this thing probably get under 14 bucks with like 10 million shares. You're pretty close right there. And I never bought this. It looked fairly good from testing the lows. But when you come down on heavier energy, which you did, you went up on 14 and down on 16 on this. It was one of the better looking stocks through that period. But sometimes you get more energy on the way down. Normally you get a little bit of consolidation. Still looks like a good play. Don't like the volume on the way down today, but if it lightens up the next couple of days, then maybe that's your test of this candle from, what is that, April 4th. In fact, if it comes down, you get about 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days of this thing going sideways, you know what? I think you could have a nice bounce. But, you know, heavier energy down normally gives you a consolidation, doesn't give you an instant rocket. I couldn't remember why I didn't buy this. It looked fairly good, actually. But I think that was probably it. I just remember this thing did come down on a little bit more energy. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bone crushing. But it didn't really accelerate on the energy up here, so you get to pull back down. Now all you need is a handful of days where this thing goes sideways, volume all lightens up, maybe consolidation's over, and this thing's ready to run. Monster short sales percentages on this. So, yeah, could be nice, especially into fun buying. Might see some people moving out of Facebook into this. Do like it. Anyway, always look on the bright side of life. No more negative waves now, folks. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we'll see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.